hello to Dubai, to the APLF. We are sorry to not be there in person, but we hope we can provide you with an interesting presentation today nevertheless. Our topic today, thank you very much also for the kind introduction, is Together We Take Responsibility for a Sustainable Future. My name is Linda Wegelin. As already introduced, I'm the Group Market Development Manager, and we have here Saverio Iozza.
Hello, my name is Saverio, and Linda, we can start now.
Yeah, let's get into the topic. So as the title already mentions, it's about sustainability and how we can take responsibility. And we at Testx and OEKO-TEX feel that with the part of the harmful substances, we want to see which harmful substances are harmful and why they are harmful, and how we can find out where the problems lie and how we can then work towards a sustainable future together. So before we go into the lab, which of course is the most interesting part, let's see who or what OEKO-TEX and Testx are. So Testx, you might be surprised, has existed since over 175 years. So we're a Swiss testing and certification company, and we have our roots in the silk industry back in 1846. And with that knowledge of silk and the trade we had there, we then slowly ventured into textile testing. And in 1993, we joined the OEKO-TEX Association. And in 2013, we also joined forces with the Austrian Institute and founding member of OEKO-TEX, ÖTI. And one of the last important milestones is also that we joined ZDHC in 2018, again with a focus of eliminating harmful substances in the production. Now, this is who or what Testx is, and we are located not only in Zurich, in Switzerland, but all over the world. So we are directly there where you need our help in the local language, and this of course helps also to make sure that your suppliers are sure to how you have to improve and how you can get certified. Now, talked about Testx, but who is OEKO-TEX? Let me go back. So OEKO-TEX has its 30th anniversary this year. It's an association formed by 17 institutes, one of them being Testx, and we are present in 85 countries now, so really everywhere where we are needed, and we work currently with over 21,000 businesses worldwide and have issued over 235,000 certificates to date, so quite a big number. So even though the label is not everywhere present, somewhere in the background you'll always find OEKO-TEX. To give you a better impression what kind of certifications we do, you have here a great impression just on a picture. So in a nutshell, we look at what chemicals come into the system, so input control, we test them. Then we look at how the textile or the leather garment is processed. And then on the output, we again look on the finished textile or leather garment to see, are there any harmful substances still there? We also have a label called Made in Green, which puts everything together, all the different certifications we have. So it looks at whether there are harmful substances, but also that the garment is produced in a safe, sustainable environment, so socially responsible and environmentally friendly. So this just giving you, as it says here, in a nutshell, what we do at first impression. In numbers, here you see at first glance, Standard 100 is of course our oldest and most established certification. So this tests for harmful substances on textiles. And we have more recently, we have added a newer certification for leather. So it tests for harmful substances on leather. We'll there have an insight into the lab, which is of course interesting. And there you can see that there is a clear demand here, because even though we only just started recently, the figures here, you can see the numbers of certifications have increased rapidly, because there is no comparable certification on the leather market. So there is a clear demand and need for change. We also have the one for chemicals, and as mentioned, then with the labels, there you can also see the dramatic increase in labels. So the end consumer also, so your customer also is clearly demanding for sustainable textiles and leather garments. Some highlights here I would like to share with you just on a glimpse is how the numbers increased also, just to give you a better impression as a take-home message. So here we see again, the leather standard has substantially increased with 30%, but we also see on the focus on chemicals, so an increase of 50% here. And the most dramatic one is again the focus of the end consumers. So here you can see here is with made in green, an increase of over 100%. So now this is my final slide before we go into the analytical part. Which I'm also very interested in. It's what initiatives and regulations do we take into consideration when we say this harmful substance needs to be added to the list or this one doesn't. So we update our leather standard and standard 100 on a yearly basis because we want to make sure that that only the relevant harmful substances are included in terms of international regulations. So, for example, here the EU regulation REACH Annex 17, then you have Prop 65, different story, but we also take that into consideration. And then the GB standard 18401 in China, we are compliant with the GB standard, we are compliant with REACH Annex 17. So you have then every year peace of mind that you can export your garments to Europe or to China. For leather, of course, also important, we take initiatives such as the Leather Working Group or the Responsible Leather Roundtable into consideration, and then ZDHC or the AFIAN group are of course also important initiatives. So there you see with the certification you have peace of mind, which that you don't have to bother about all the new changes which can come on a yearly basis or even on a half-year basis. So this is some background on how or why we do the certification. And now I'd like to hand over to you, Saverio, to give us more insights in what we actually do in detail and how and what.
Thank you, Linda, for the good overview about Testx and OEKO-TEX. Now we come to the technical part. You have heard about the different regulations where harmful substances are regulated. And so there is a need to analyze it. At Testx, we analyze a lot of these harmful substances, as you can see on the slide. And so you need for these substances also good techniques and good instruments, as we have it on our modern laboratory. Yeah, but I think for you it's more interesting what kind of substances are more relevant, where the findings are higher. And as you can see, formaldehyde, heavy metal in extracts, and tensides are the most relevant there. we have their high failure rates. But the most crucial one is Chromium-6, and you see as well that Chromium-6 is have also a failure rate of 2 to 3%. And now we take a look especially to Chromium-6. Yeah, and Chromium-6 is coming from Chromium, and Chromium is an element that can occur in 3 main forms. Elemental chromium is the metallic chromium and used in the formation of stainless steel or chromium plating, as you know. And then we have also trivalent chromium, which is the safe form of the element and which is also used for tanning leather. And then we have as well hexavalent chromium, which is the hazardous form of the element. It is hazardous when breathed in, ingested, or touched, and it carries at 50% lethality when ingested to the amount of 50 milligrams per liter of body weight. Repeated exposure to Chromium-6 can cause several respiratory conditions, including asthma, bronchitis, itching, physical trauma to the respiratory tract, and lung cancer. As you know, Chromium-6 became world famous with Aaron Brockovich and in combining movie with Julia Roberts, as you can see on the slide now. For the most part, the trivalent chromium presents a safe tanning chemical. Over 85% of the global leather production is tanned with chromium, and it offers a versatile and stable leather product for multiple end uses. In some conditions, Chromium-3 can convert to the hazardous Chromium-6. This is mainly because of poor process control in the tannery and non-ideal chemical selection. So, there's also a Chromium-6 legislation. Following an EU requirement, the placing on the market of the leather articles and articles containing leather parts are prohibited if the content of Chromium-6 is equal to or greater than 3 milligram per kilogram. Yeah, and this restriction will apply to leather parts that under normal or foreseeable use come into contact with the skin. Now, how we do the testing in the lab. There are 2 Chromium-6 test methods. One is the colorimetric method, and here you put a selective reagent, which is diphenyl carbazide, and then you produce a complex which is diphenyl carbazone with Chromium-6 compounds, and you receive then a red-violet complex. This complex can be quantitatively determined photometrically at 540 nanometer. And then we have also a second method, which is the ion chromatography method. And here you use an anion chromatography with UV vis detection. And this is the most used method if you are testing Chromium-6. So if you are not tanning with chromium, there are also alternatives. And as you know better than me, I think you can also produce chromium-free leather, which is also known as the FOC leather. and also metal-free leather, where the use of aluminium, iron, and titan is not taken there, and so then you can have these FOM or metal-free leather. Both can be certified under the leather standard by OEKO-TEX. We have there especially limit values for these both levels. Now we come to formaldehyde, which you also seen on the diagram, that this is the most found harmful substance in the leather production. Formaldehyde is also called methanol, and it is an organic compound, which is also the simplest of the aldehydes. It is used in large amount in variety of chemical manufacturing processes. And normally you can buy it as formalin, which is a 37% aqueous solution. In the pure form, it is colorless, a flammable gas with a strong pungent odor. Formaldehyde is extremely irritating to the mucous membranes, eyes, and skin, and can cause allergic reaction. It is also classified as a carcinogen, so it can cause cancer. Some products used in the leather industry, especially tanning agents and process preservative agents, contain formaldehyde, which can leave finished leather products with detectable levels of free formaldehyde. Many authorities classify formaldehyde as a carcinogen, as I said before. According to the REACH regulation, a limit value of 300 milligram per kilogram formaldehyde per kilogram applies to clothing, footwear, and textile. From November 2023, the limit value will be reduced to 75 milligram per kilogram. And as you can see, the leather standard by OEKO-TEX has also lower limits. For baby products, it is 10 milligram per kilogram. For leathers which have skin contact, but also without skin contact, it has 75 milligram per kilogram, which will come into force in 2023. And for decoration material, we have the EU regulation limit of 300 milligram per kilogram. But nevertheless, the demand today is for leathers to produce without free formaldehyde, without formaldehyde, sorry. How we test formaldehyde? It is an HPLC analysis after derivatization. The derivatization is being done with 2,4-dinitrophenylhydrazine, and then it can be measured on HPLC DAD. DNPH, the derivatization solvent, has been used for its effectiveness in the interaction with the formaldehyde and produces a stable compound. So now we take a look what you can take home. And as you heard in the beginning of our presentation, OEKO-TEX takes responsibility and take a look on all the lists of harmful substances and which are related to people and planet.
Yeah. So that's the 2 points I think are very important. So why we take responsibility for people and planet, and now the further take-home messages I think are also resulting from this, that harmful substances are being monitored. As you see, we are very transparent on how we do this and why we do this. Saverio gave you a lot of detail on that. And this leads us to the final and most important point. Thereby the industry, we very much hope, and we all also feel it, receives a positive incentive to produce, in this example, formaldehyde and chrome-free leather, because we have a certification that is relevant for the market and they can choose safer alternatives. So now that you've learned so much, we want to see how much has stuck, how much of the take-home messages, the wee shopping bag you saw before, has stuck in your mind. So we set up a small quiz where the lucky winner can win Made in Green, so the most sustainable label we have, hemp blanket. So you can enjoy a picnic on that hemp blanket, or you can lie in the sun. You can participate by either scanning the QR code or clicking on the following link. You can do so by the Monday, 11th of April, and the lucky winner, or winners I should say here, will be informed by Friday, 15th of April. So with that, I would say good luck, and hope you enjoyed this webinar. I would lead over to the next slide, where we also are happy to see what questions come up. We have been informed by APLF that these will be shared with us, and we will be happy to reply to you after the webinar has been viewed by everyone. So thank you very much. Yeah, Saverio, I think we're at the end.
Yes, thank you very much as well. Thank you, Linda, to participate on this presentation. And thank you as well for all who are listening to this presentation.
Great, thank you. So hope to see you next time, and hope to see you soon, and was great to take you on a journey to see how together we can take responsibility for a sustainable future. Bye for now.
Bye. Goodbye.